Avantis because, as you can see, Avantis is up 8.3% in the last 7 days, and it has been slowly but surely making its way from the bottom back to the top. But we're going to talk about where I believe Avantis is going to go because they have a lot of things holding them back, but they also have a lot of things that can boost them forward. So we'll talk about this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But let's cover Avantis because we've seen a lot of different projects taking off, and even some of them being some of the base projects. Because as we know, a lot of base projects, for some reason, they lag behind the overall market, right? We see base products lagging behind the market. We see that B3 is up 230% in the last week, 371% inside the last 2 weeks, and 312% in the last 30 days. So we have some other base projects like B3 doing huge, insane numbers, but Avantis is still lagging behind B3. As you can look and see here, Avantis is not doing good as some of these other projects. So why is Avantis lagging behind the projects, lagging behind Bitcoin and all these other projects, right? That is the true question because we still have a lot of holders here inside of Avantis, 121,000 holders. So Avantis is still doing well. And we'll also talk about this technical analysis. We'll cover this after we cover what's going on with Avantis fundamentally, right? So this is a pretty good representation of what Avantis offers to their traders on AvantisFi and just holders of their token in general. So Avantis, this is coming directly from them. It says a trader showed up right before BOJ intervention and placed $4.8 million worth of shorts, made 40K overnight as USD to Japan yen dipped and has now opened a $1 million long while paying 0 fees for it all. That is huge. And then when you look at this, you see that they literally have like a huge percentage here. That's huge for one, 391%. On top of that, they shorted 359x. I always tell you guys, 500x leverage on AvantisFi, right? And if you're going over 75x leverage, then your fees are 0. You get 0 fee perps above 75x leverage. And then that's just huge. And the entry wasn't even, it was a good entry, but look, he shorted it from 157 to $155 and made 391%. Now, if 391% is 40K, you know he's trading with a lot of money, right? You know he's trading with a lot of money. He's probably trading with like over $10,000, a little bit around there, probably around $10,000, right? And then made 40K off of it. So they're trading with a lot of money here in order to make that type of money. But still, 391%, 359x, that's pretty good when, you know, it only moved $2. And this is why I say you can trade 4x on AvantisFi. Check out the link in the description by the way. And no, I was not planning on telling you guys to check out the link in the description for AvantisFi, but I'm telling you guys, up to 100x fees or 500x leverage in 0 fees, right? If it had 100x fees, nobody would want to use it. But up to 500x leverage, and as soon as you pass 75x leverage, you get 0 fee perps. But if you're doing below 75x leverage, like up to 75x leverage, then you got to pay fees. But if you sign up through the link in the description, you get a significant amount discounted off of those fees. So just check it out. And then 0 fee perps, literally one of the best things in the world. All right. So anyways, moving on from that, I had to do a shameless plug, but we've been seeing a lot going on inside of the base Avantis world. So this is coming from someone in the Avantis community. They say Avantis is the kind of chart most people only notice after it's already up several 100%. Right now, it still sits in the phase where interest is low, liquidity is thin, and almost nobody is paying attention anymore. But historically, those are exactly the conditions where the strongest recovery moves begin. The structure here is simple. After the initial launch mania completely collapsed, price spent months grinding lower until volatility finally disappeared. that is exhaustion phase matters, pretty much is what he's saying. And he said, because once a market stops reacting aggressively to sell pressure, it usually means that weak hands are already gone. So they're saying that they pretty much shaken out the weak hands. And now the three major zones that they're talking about here, it's 42 cents, $1, $2.67. So you can see it here. They're saying pretty much 42 cents is that next zone that we're looking for, and it's going to be that next resistance. That's what this guy is saying here. And 42 cents brings us all the way up here to this resistance. That was a pretty big rejection up there. So I think 42 cents could definitely be used as a resistance area right here, because you can see it was used twice. It was used once here and then another time here. All right. So we do have that, and we'll cover this technical in full. I just kind of wanted to show that. Right. So that's what that person is saying. Then we have this person over here saying Avantis token starting to grow. I have been seeing Avantis has been growing like inside of size of the community, right? And they're pretty much shooting to become the most dominant perps platform on base, the most dominant perps dex platform on base. And I 100% agree. I think they are. Not even I think. I know they are the largest one on base right now, right? They're the strongest and largest on base right now when it comes to perps dex, right? And then this is coming from base themselves. So this person reposted this. It says we are getting base finally. Now this was posted a while ago, obviously, but this one was posted on the 10th. It says base token base is beginning to explore the possibility of a network token. We understand there will be a lot of questions, but please be patient. So that's a pretty big statement stating that a base chain is coming out, right? Or well, base chain's already out, but a base token, right? And we don't really know much about the token, and that's what this person is pretty much talking about here, how they still haven't clearly defined the exact use case of a token. We don't know if they're going to be turning it into, like a gas token or what. But pretty much what they've said is they're exploring a network token. It's still early. Nothing has been finalized yet, and they want to build with the community. So they really haven't given much information on it, which means that they're probably not going to drop it anytime soon. I assume when the bull market starts, and probably towards like the peak of the bull market. I don't know why they launched towards the peak of this last bull market. So maybe when I say they launched, Avantis launched at the peak of the last bull market. So maybe they launch base sometime when the bull market is heating up, right, next year. So by the end of this year and by the beginning of next year, we should have the next bull market. So sometime in 27, we might be getting a base token, right? So it's very far from here, and we also don't really know much about it. Some people are saying that they're losing hope, they're losing trust inside of base because it's been taking way too long. So that's what some other people are saying. And then some people are like, what are we going to be using the token for? Is it going to be incentives, governance, or rewards, ecosystem alignment, creator economy, community ownership? They haven't said anything about what they want to do with the token. But anyways, with all that being said, that's obviously a major catalyst for Avantis. So I think that is bullish regardless. It's bullish for Avantis, even though they're kind of stalling. Eventually, when they launch it, it'll be bullish for Avantis and everything on base. All right. Now let's talk about the technicals here on Avantis, because we just got rejected at a significant resistance at 0.16, right? So 0.1682, we got rejected at 16 cents. We made it all the way up to 8 cents or 18 cents, and then we pulled back, and then we tried to make it again. But look, when we pulled back, we hit the red line here, which is the 50-day simple moving average, which is good. It's showing that that's strong support. So this probably means that we are going into an uptrend on Avantis, right? The second we got above this and stayed above it, that pretty much marked our territory for going up. Now, there's a possibility that we can obviously pull back and go below the 50-day simple moving average, right? We can obviously go below this 50-day SMA, but it is turning bullish. Look at how it's curving upwards. It's ready to start going up. That's a bullish signal. And then we have the white line, which is the 200-day simple moving average, or the 200-day moving average, which means we're probably working our way up to the 200-day to use that as resistance, right? We're probably trying to use that as resistance as we speak now. So that is a pretty bullish statement right there, right? We have a support here at 22 cents. So you would definitely want to watch out for that. because I think that's where the 200-day moving average is probably going to be by the time we get up there, which means 22 cents is probably going to be a huge area of resistance from us, right? Well, for us, it's probably going to be a huge area of resistance for us. We'll probably end up hitting it right as we hit that 22 cents area. We'll have the 200-day simple moving average coming down to there, right? So that is, I guess, a good thing since you know where our resistance areas are more likely to be. And then we have other things here. Um, we have a few other things. So overall, when you look at the divergence for the MACD, right, you can scroll all the way out. We're just gonna cover the MACD right here. I'm gonna take all the drawings off because we want a bear chart for the MACD, right? So this is Avantis' chart. It doesn't look too pretty, not at all. Which is exactly why I think it's probably a good time to start loading up because it's bottomed out. And it could go lower, obviously, if Bitcoin starts dumping and drags everything down with it. But Bitcoin has been up strong for some reason. But anyways, it is still looking decent. But what I noticed here, I just want to show you guys this because we're getting higher lows on the MACD. 1, 2, 3, and then you see these are the highest ones. This is where it ends. So we got higher lows on the MACD, right? And then when you pull up this, you're also seeing that we have lower lows on the charts, or had. This is bullish divergence. This is why we're bullish right now. It's literally why we're pumping. Like when you look at this, higher lows on the MACD, and you look here, higher lows on the MACD for the bullish divergence on the right side, right? And then you look at the chart, and what do you get? You get lower lows on the chart. Boom, boom, boom. And we already know we created lower lows up until the very last breath of that pullback, right? Lower lows all the way down until 12 cents, right? And this was the final lower low. And this is why technical analysis is so important. Because when you look at the final lower low, you also see that it's the same as the final higher low on the MACD. So the final lower low on the chart is matching the same area where the higher low is, which means it is indeed bullish divergence. Look, I marked it. I marked it right there. So you can see that's the final higher low. You can barely see the right candlestick. So if we zoom in, you can see it just a little bit. So we got to zoom all the way in because this is another low right here, that area right there. Now, when you zoom out, you're now starting to see a new formation, right? You zoom out and then you see that new formation, which is the start of the bull rally. Okay. So our divergence, when you look back over here, we built bullish divergence and now we're pushing into the bull market. So now you're starting to see buying volume come and go inside of the charts, and we're going to start seeing the MACD increasing higher and higher. So that's what it's looking like here on the charts. Now, one bad thing is that the percent R trend exhaustion on the daily chart, the white line being the short-term trend, has broken past the long-term trend, which is the blue line. So unfortunately, we're going to end up seeing that short-term trend coming back, pulling back down towards the blue line, and then we'll probably see them both work their way up from there. So we might see a short-term pullback. That's why it's the short-term trend on the percent R trend exhaustion. Because the one that we really care about is the long-term trend, which is this one on the bottom. So we need this one to come up here to the overbought area. So in order for it to do that, this short-term trend is going to come back, and then they're both going to make their way up. So you might see a temporary pullback inside of Avantis, but I do think that it's going to continue to go up. That's why I mentioned it coming back here to the 200 SMA. If it breaks, I wouldn't be too afraid of that because even if it does create one more lower low, it might continue upwards after that and have a huge break to the upside. So I think Avantis is still in a good position. It's just at a weird area right now, right? Just at a weird area because we're just now coming out of all of that bearishness and where we bottomed out over there. And then if you also look here on the 4-hour chart, you can see that pullback in real time as we're about to hit that 50-day simple moving average. And you can see it pulling back from being overbought here on the percent R trend exhaustion. Now it's pulling back. So like I said, there's a possibility we could break that moving average, but we might do what we did here and then break right back above it. So I feel like that might be what happens there. And then on the 4-hour chart, you can see just a lot of selling pressure starting to come in. But once that buying pressure comes right back in, I think it's going to be a good moment for Avantis to try to push above that 16 cent level again. So I think Avantis is still good. Long term, it's bullish, but right now in the short term, a little bit bearish. But it's building up the bullishness, right? It's building up for that bull case. So we'll have to just wait, be patient, wait for base to come out, the base token, and just be patient with Avantis. I think it's gonna break out soon. I'm looking for 22 cents after this breakout from 16 cents. So 22 cents is where I'm looking for next. But yeah, short term, little iffy. Long term, I think this is a good project. But yeah, this is all I got for you guys today. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Check out the link in the description for Avantis, literally the best perps trading platform out there. And I'm not just saying that because I have a link. Sign up through that link, but zero fee perps. Look at that. Fees zero. Estimated hourly borrow fee zero. Open fee zero. Right. And as you can see, it's because we have the zero fee perps set up, and anything above 75x is zero fee perps on Avantis, and it goes all the way up to 500x. So this is very good. And like I said, like that one guy is doing millions, right? And they're not lying. When you look at it, you can actually see the open interest on the forex pair of the Japanese yen to the Japanese yen to US dollar. Well, US dollar to Japanese yen, 5.3 million in open interest, 23 million in 24-hour trading volume. So people are making money off that forex stuff on Avantis. And like I said, up to 500x leverage, you are doing zero fee perps. So it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm really liking the direction of Avantis, and I think Avantis is one of the better DeFi perps trading platforms out there. But yeah, and look, click USD to Japan, up to 1,000x leverage on this pair, zero fees, like 1,000x leverage. Now that's crazy because your liquidation is like, you have a very, very, very fine line before you get liquidated, right? So if you look at it, I have it set for longs, right? The current price is 157.55, and then the liquidation is 157.41. So it's a very, very fine line. But if you get good at it, like you see how I just went from 55 to 63, I would have made a lot of money if I would have did 1,000x leverage right there, 1,000x long. I would have made a lot of money scalping it like that, right? But anyways, there's a bunch of different strategies you can use for DeFi perps trading. So anyways, check out Avantis, link in the description. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the member of the channel that recommended me to go over this video. Guys, become a member of the channel. If you guys want me to do specific videos like this, if you want me to specifically go over a project for you, all you got to do is become a member of the channel. It's only $10 per month, and I'll go over literally any project that you want. Just leave a comment in any one of my videos telling me what you want me to go over next, and I'll go over it, as long as it's not some type of low cap scam coin, right? But yeah, this is all I got for you guys, and as always, I'll be back with another video.